Another popular theory about speech comes to us from Searle. Searle is another popular name in the study of pragmatics. Searle's speech theory revolves around two important things. First, he distinguished between a speech act or illocutionary force and the propositional content of an utterance. And proposition, we all know, is some information in an utterance which can be seen as true or false, or could be judged or evaluated as true or false. Whereas speech act or illocutionary force is the intention of the speaker. And in order to elaborate this difference, he gave us various examples. Among them, some of them are here in front of you. If you read these statements, it tells us Sam smokes habitually. Then we see, does Sam smoke habitually? Then Sam smoke habitually. So in these statements, you say the same propositional content is being discussed. The content is Sam smokes. And this could be judged as true or false. If you know the fact or the realities around it, you can judge it as true or false by creating various truth conditions. But the intention of the speaker or the meaning or the speech acts he or she wants to perform vary in every single sentence here. For example, in the first sentence, we can see it as a statement. In second statement, we can see it as a question. And in the third statement, we can see it as a command or as an expression of desire. So various actions are being performed by the same speaker in three different statements. Searle also divided speech acts into 5 different categories, and among them representatives come first. He says that representatives are those speech acts which commit the speakers to the truth of the expressed things or propositions, and they also state what the speaker believes to be the case or not. For example, the statements which focus on asserting, concluding something, or the statements which are rendering certain ideas of fact. The particular examples in this case could be the statements like the earth is flat, it was a warm sunny day, which is describing a certain state of fact. So representatives are those which represent a certain state of affairs or fact, and which a speaker believes to be the case or not. And then we have directives, which attempts the speaker by the speaker to get the addressee to do something. In directives, the speaker tries that the person he is addressing to, he makes him to do something. For example, in case of orders or requests, if somebody say, bring me a glass of water, get me some coffee, or could you please lend me your pen? So in all these instances are based on the directive division of speech acts. We have commissive, which commit a speaker to do something in future. They commit a speaker for a future course of action, and such speech acts include, for example, promising, offering, threatening, etc. Because threat is for the future, promise is also for the future. So they in commissive, the speaker, him or herself, commits to do something in the future, as compared to directives where he wants somebody else to do something for him or her. The examples can be seen in the statements like, I'll be back, we will not do that. It's a kind of promise not to repeat something in future. I'm going to get it right. I'm not going to get it right next time. Again, it's a kind of threat that I'm not gonna do it if you keep on doing it this way. So such kind of actions commit the speaker, him or herself, to do something in the future. We have expressives, which express a certain psychological or emotional state of the speaker. These speech acts usually are the emotional or psychological outbursts of a speaker about a certain event or fact which is happening around. And these include the actions like thanking, apologizing, welcoming, and congratulating. Wow, that's great. It's a kind of appreciation. It's kind of emotional reaction to certain thing. So this is a typical expressive speech act. Then we have the statements like "I'm really sorry," "Congratulations," "Oh yes, that's great." So all these shows us some natural reactions, emotional reactions to certain happenings around us. We do have declarations. The declarations are those speech acts which are bigger in their social impact. They change the state of affairs altogether. And such actions, uh, if they are to be performed, they need certain institutional approvals also. Beyond the linguistic domain, they also need certain institutional approvals in the outer world. And they do bring immediate changes in the institutional state of affairs. For example, the speech acts like marrying, declaring a war, firing somebody from the job, they all constitute serious impacts or change of institutional affairs as far as the speaker or the listener are concerned. For example, if priest says somebody, a man and a woman, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Here, the state of affairs has changed. After this declaration, those two individuals are now husband and wife. They are no more single persons. They are married now. So there is a serious change of affairs in their lives. Then, if referee uh, calls the player, you are out. That means he has to leave the play instantly. That means a serious change in his working at that time. The criteria which Searle used to distinguish between these various speech acts is based on multiple individual criterions. For example, it ranges from speaker's own psychological situation to illocutionary point he wants to convey, then fit with the real world and the content of the act itself. So there could be possibly other factors also involved in it. This was a brief description of Searle's speech act theory.